Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is November 6th, and here is today's trade review. So, first off, you may be wondering, why am I doing this? The plan of attacks were requested quite a bit when we had the summit at the money show and all that stuff just recently in Orlando. So, I'm entertaining the idea of doing that again. And also, with the plan of attacks comes with a trade review, and so I'll start doing daily trade reviews, as that's kind of like where my edge is right now, is these zero DTE type of trading strategies. That's where I'm doing really well at, and so that's kind of like what I'll focus on more, and I'll just break down those trades every day. And if you wish to watch them, here you go. If you don't, so be it. But this particular trade today, we did it in the small account mentorship and in the options room at Simpler Trading. And let's go ahead and break it down. Before I go into how and why I did what I did, let's talk about what it was, because everyone wants to know the money first. So, money first. This is the trade. You can see you got into ES, futures, options. It's the same as SPX, buy, whatever you want to call it, or trade. It's just I wanted to get in an hour before the open. So I'm on Eastern, sorry, not Eastern, but I'm in Central time. So I got in at roughly an hour before they open. You can see I finally closed it a little after noon, and man, did we have to wait for this trade. But ultimately, what it was a bearish skewed Iron Condor. So I'll just write that out here. I'll put bear and then skew Iron Condor, and I'll explain how and why it's skewed. But mainly for what we need to take in right now is I did sell the 43.75 calls and made that end right here is 10 wide, and then I went out and sold the 43.40 puts and made that end 5 wide. So that's where it skews it, and I'll show you how it works on the risk graph on if you do skew it this way, what exactly does that mean. But ultimately, we got into the Iron Condor for $5.20 credit, and like I said, at right afternoon, locked up about 40% of the credit received, and it ended up being about 42% based off of the risk, so 42% return. All in all, a pretty decent little trade. This particular trade netted. I see. Do the math here real quick. I got 6 of them. Did that? So that netted a total of $615. So nice little day trade. The streak continues. If you haven't seen my streak, this is why I'm focusing on this. This is kind of what I've been doing, just focusing on my 0DT stuff, and this is all these trades right here. All these trades documented right here are my 0DTE trading strategies, basically where I wake up, I decide if I'm going to go sideways or directional, and then based off of however I'm deciding that, I set up a trade based around that, basically that analysis. But so far, the win streak continues. I haven't had losses. If we continue forth and encompass all this, and we'll say up until a month ago, but so far, so good in terms of this these trades. So that's the trade. Let me just go ahead and show you. I'll do it in a similar order so you can see what it looked like at the time of entry. So for a one position, so for me, I was rolling with a max loss of about 1,400. I could decrease this here. For one, max loss would have been 240, max profit would have been 260 if you had one position. But this is how the risk graph looks right here. I'll zoom in a little bit. And the reason I skewed it, and when you do skew it, right here, you can see this is your loss zone, right, where it's all red. And then here is your profit zone. And then you notice right here where it is still above 0, so you still walk away with a net profit even if it skyrocketed, or sorry, if it completely fell apart. And if it hit that resistance and completely fell apart, the delta and gamma exposure actually has the curve like this. So say price just fell apart after the open, it didn't chop around sideways like it did, it just falls down. At least we can still get in at a decent profit instead of down here. So that's one thing that kind of happens when you do those trades. And as we continue to do that, this type of setup, it'll be more seen, and you'll know what I mean. But this was the trade, or the options set up anyways. Whenever the price flushed lower, that's when we got out around 12 o'clock. So this is the option strategy that we did. Now let's talk about the how and why particularly we did this. So, all right, so here is the ES futures on the day chart. And ultimately, so We come up, price has come down to support. We have rallied hardcore all the way up into this resistance level. You see how I have it was respected here, it was respected here. We're right at the daily 50 SMA and extended right into this level of resistance. So for me, I was thinking, I don't think we're going to completely skyrocket. So I was thinking maybe just come down and engulf half of, not engulf really, just come lower and test half of this candle. However, it doesn't look like we're going to do that. What it looks like we may do is just print a doji candle, and then if we break the low tomorrow, then that will open the door to at least this zone. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But the reason for choosing sideways to down type of strategy, like I said, we're up at resistance and was looking for price just to slightly come down since there was no economic data coming out today. So this would be a purely technical type of short move down today. And obviously hasn't happened, but that's why I was looking for that sideways to down type of play. And that's really why there's this. And then let me show you on this chart. So let's set this up, how price looked at time of entry, because ultimately that's what matters. I know right now the chart looks super busy, especially my 5-minute chart, but that is really because the compression is so tight right now. Usually it's a lot easier to read. But we got in at, what, 7:30, so I'm going to move my mouse on over to about here. So it's about this white arrow. So we got in about this spot. I'll turn it off real quick, and 7:30. About right here-ish. Okay. So these are the points where we got into the position. So at the moment, I was looking for this 30-minute squeeze to move lower, which it did. I didn't expect a high compression squeeze, which is indicated by these yellow dots, but we did. But I was looking for just to go red to yellow, but nonetheless, it's still playing out. And then over here, I was looking for price just to hit the resistance, which is this gray zone up here. So that was, like I said, that's why I was leaning to the downside. And we just held on the entire time throughout the entire day. But once we got this little flush lower down here, so it was 12:10, right? So it was about right here. And that's whenever we locked up the position. And the reason for getting out instead of holding it, like, because I know the idea was to hold it, but as I take a step back on the ES, I zoom out here. I was like, man, it's been a super tight range day. If you look right here, that was not supposed to be that fat. um, into this little zone right here, I was like, man, that may hold a support. And so I just got out of it. And to be quite honest, so I caught COVID while at the money show, and now my 8-year-old is starting to show signs of it. And I wanted to lock up the trade, so I go take care of him as well. And so the trade happened, it unfolded, we got out profitable, and that was really it. Nothing more. The only reason to really structure it sideways to down, like I said, was because right here at resistance, there was this squeeze. I was looking to go short. The only thing that happened that wasn't really planned was how long we chopped around. I did not plan for that, but nonetheless, that's why that bearishly skewed Iron Condor benefits to downward moves. So, yeah, that's really all it was there. So, decent trade out of the way, and I'm ready to strike again tomorrow. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask down in the comment section. I will answer every single question and go from there. Give you any answers you have. I will post a trade review tomorrow afternoon as well from the live trade that does happen in the small account mentorship tomorrow as well. And so hopefully we'll keep the streak alive and everyone will be happy and merry. But have a great day, everybody. And just trying to get this out of the way here. But yeah, anyways, have a good rest of your day. Sorry. And take care. Goodbye, everybody.